Okay, today's topic, as you can see, is the Gaza story. Matlab anyone who's not even following current affairs, he might have heard of this. Every day, Israel, Trump and Gaza, it's every day in the news. Like, no one cares even of current affairs, then also you know this. The best part of this is two things. First, it's a very simple topic, but we'll make it complex today. Complex because if it would have been a simple topic, it would have been sorted out till now. Because it's a very complicated topic, that's why it's going on for like decades, more than 5, 6, 7 decades going on. So we'll make it more complicated today. Okay? See, here's the pen. The Gaza story is divided into two parts. First is pre 7th of October 2023. Simple. There are two parts to it, visible, and the other is post 7 October 2023. This part we'll deal in the next slide or the next day because it's old dated. And here we see the rise of Gaza, the rise of Hamas, and the difference between Hamas, Palestine and PA, that is Palestinian Authority, or also known as Fatah. We'll see in the future classes what these all mean. This is the historical background. The present context is this. What happened post after 7th October. That's why it's in the news for the last 2 years, and Trump is always in the news for the last like generations. Okay. Here's the next slide. See what happened in brief, just 2 lines. What happened on the 7th October? There's a Islamist, Palestinian Sunni Islamist group named as Hamas. They attacked on Israel and killed roughly 1200 Israelis and captured 251 hostages. See, this hostage is very important because the whole fight after that is for rescuing these hostages. This is a very simple fact. There's a military organization known as Hamas. It attacked on its neighboring Israel and it did massacre, and this is the afterthought. Now see, the best part of Gaza story is you need to understand Gaza, the place itself. Gaza, see, this is a very small strip of land, Gaza, very small, but in the next slide if you see, I'll try to show you the densely population. It's so densely populated. This is Gaza, this part is Gaza, and this is Israel. Just see how densely populated it is. But you have to keep this in mind to understand what's going on. So this is the Gaza story. You understand the basics, what happened on 7th October. Now see, what the Hamas did, these all arrows, that is how they attacked. This is the direction, they are in, Hamas is over here, and they attacked Israel in multiple directions, multiple casualties. Okay. Now what happened next is, they try to what happens next when someone attacks anyone? They retaliate, as simple as that. Now what is going on is the retaliation process going on, and it's never ending. That is why it's complex. This I showed you is the complex, highly densely populated, like one of the most densely populated of the earth. Okay. This is one, when this was going on, both ways are trying to fight each other. Then what rises? Very simple, humanitarian crisis. People can't get food, people can't get water, people can't get medical facilities, even people can't get a roof over their heads. So what happened is, this place is called a Rafah crossing. This place was the first mediation zone, or from this place medical supplies and food was allowed. Why this is important? It is important in the context of prelims. UPSC asks simple, match the following, or you have heard Rafah news, where is it? Simple questions are there. So you should be knowing this place, and there's one Iris crossing. These are the two crossings, but Rafah crossing was opened and it is in Egypt. You should know that. And if you understand the basic map, this is Gaza, this is Israel, beyond this is Jordan, and this is the Mediterranean Sea. Okay? Now we'll come to the easy part, but not so easy part. What's the Gaza story? Now we remember 7th October attack happened, then both sides are firing each other. Then, which has not happened for years, like for centuries, Israel attacked Doha. Doha is a GCC country, that is Gulf Cooperation Council country. In simple, it means it is under the protection of USA. Most of the countries on earth don't have their own military. For example, Afghanistan doesn't have a full-fledged military. It does not have what? Its air force. For example, so Doha, they heavily relied on USA to protect them. For that, just a few months earlier, Qatar had gifted USA 400 million airplane. That's approximately slightly short of $500 million airplane. And after that also, Qatar got attacked. On where? In Doha itself. Qatar was attacked, saying that Hamas leadership was there. Now what this, see, इससे क्या होता है? Ripple effect is generated. Both sides. The one which is impacted Qatar, they'll also start thinking, and the one is attacking. They are in the process. What's going on there? So what happened was, what is the importance of Qatar? Matlab, Israel attacks many places attack many places. It's all going on since ancient times. Everyone is fighting each other. But why is Qatar important? Qatar is important because it's an arbitrator. During World War II, you might have heard that Switzerland is an arbitrator. Because you see, everyone was fighting everyone, but no one tried to conquer Switzerland. Because Switzerland was arbitrator. It was listening to both the parties. Switzerland was the place where everyone used to come and sit and sort things out. In the 21st century, Qatar is an arbitrator. For example, USA was talking to Taliban in where? In Doha itself. Hamas and Israel was talking where? In Doha itself. And it was attacked. And best part, Qatar is one of the few countries which is friendly to both Saudi Arabia and Iran. Saudi, a Sunni country, and Iran, a Shia country. Matlab, that's the magic of Qatar. And Qatar used to think it is protected by USA. Because it was doing this thing. So what happened was, if Qatar can be attacked being an arbitrator, being a mediator, then the whole Muslim, all the nations, they got confused. They got scared. If Qatar can be attacked, we can also be attacked. So what happened was, they went to President Trump as usual. If they don't even go to him, he'll call them. Okay. See, the magic of Trump is, in Hindi there's the word kuch bhi. You've heard of it, kuch bhi. Matlab, he's the only guy which you can associate with the Indian word kuch bhi. He can do anything or nothing, but he'll do something. So what they did was, all the Muslim nations and Qatar went to Trump. We were under your protectorate, we were under your protection. How did this happen if you didn't allow it? Everyone was furious. What's going to be next? So, the main, see, now you have to relate everything with current affairs, the present day current affairs and the different geopolitical context. That's how your JS2 answer will come. Now see, Qatar has the same problem which Afghanistan has today. Few days earlier, there was an airstrike in Afghanistan which killed many innocent people, civilians, plus 3 of the cricketers, right? Like, these are civilians, but they got killed. Sad story. But Afghanistan is in the same state as Qatar. Afghanistan has a very small army, but no air force. If Afghanistan had an air force, it absolutely might have retaliated. Afghanistans are very proud people. They don't back down. Okay? In the same way, if Qatar also had its own army or its air force, it might have retaliated. In the case of Iran, Iran retaliates back to Israel. But Qatar never, because they don't have. That was the major drawback. So what they all did? They went to President Trump. You are a protector. What shall we do? So Trump said the only solution is hostages. As I told you, Israel is a very proud country because it offers demography. The whole country of Israel has roughly 1 crore population. Roughly. Imagine the strength they have. And this 1 crore population holds the majority of Nobel Peace Prizes, majority of world's best technology anyone can imagine. Iron Dome, whatever you've heard of it, it's from, and that country is the best in water resources also. Okay? So Trump said, very simple, you release the hostages, we'll protect you again. See, Trump's words are of no value. You can see it every day. But still, Qatar has no other option, na? Where can he go? There's no other country compared. Either he can go to China, but China cannot protect him. So it's USA. So everyone went and said, Trump said, you have to push to release the hostages. Then what happened? That is the only thing that can stop Netanyahu, because Netanyahu is very conservative for his people. He wants all the hostages back. Okay? At this point of time, see, the hostage was going on. That issue was going on. Some hostages were always going and coming. There was exchange of hostages was going on always, because there were 250 hostages in total, 251 to be precise, and it's not a one-day affair. One meeting went up, then they sent 10 of them, then the other. It's a gradual process going on. Listening to Trump, all the Muslim nations pressurized Hamas, कि भाई, you have to give up the hostages. Now see, you have to, one thing about Hamas is, for that you have to understand, this you've learned, these 2 points in Afghanistan, there were airstrikes. Not important, just to understand the situation of Afghanistan is similar to the situation of Qatar. Now you have to understand what is next going on. Now they've all pressurized Hamas. Now Hamas is ready to come on the talking tables. The main point is to get on the talking table. Now see, what happened was, Sharm el-Sheikh, if anyone is a UPSC student, now Hamas is on the talking table. Now where do we talk? Qatar has given up, his hands are open because Qatar is now attacked. The whole image, the prestige of being an arbitrator has been ruined by Israel. So Egypt came forward. Ki in Sharm el-Sheikh we'll have a meeting. Sharm el-Sheikh is again famous for what? In 2022, 27th session of Conference of Parties were there. Very important for environment and UPSC. Very important topic. That's why I added it. Just remember. Now what happened? There was a Gaza peace plan was brought forward. In everyday news you might have heard Gaza peace plan is going on. So there are 20 points in this Gaza peace plan. We'll just discuss 4. Rest are very common. But these 4 are the controversial points. Just think of it. How can any country, even how can a militant organization agree to these points? Okay. First of all, India does not consider Hamas a militant organization as of today. Okay. The whole world does it, but India does not. So me calling it a militant organization is in the view of Israel and USA, not with respect to India. I'm just making it clear. Okay. So what they said, amnesty for Hamas members. Just think all those people who have committed crime, murder, what not. It says amnesty, we'll let you go. Can that happen? If you give up arms, we won't give you any prison, nothing. That's not possible. But it happened in the case of Taliban. Just when Taliban conquered Afghanistan again, all the cases just vanished, right? Earlier they were what? They were international terrorists. UN designated international terrorists. Those same UN designated international terrorists now sitting in the UN. See the irony of the world. In the same case, this is what they told. Ki, if you give up arms. The second is transitional governance. It simply means there will be a transition period. Hamas will give up weapons. They'll have to be rebuilding infrastructure. Everything will happen. Because we'll see whole of Hamas, whole of Gaza has been shattered. Like hota na, rubbles are left. All buildings are rubbles are left. So this is the transitional governance. Remove Hamas and replace it with technocratic Palestinian committee. Headed by whom? Mr. Trump himself. I don't want to expand into it. It's self-explanatory that this is somewhat not possible. Third is Hamas exclusion and demilitarization. Hamas exclusion means Hamas will have to leave Gaza. Now see, for centuries, not centuries, for decades, they have been fighting for one place. And today you're telling, leave that place. Is it possible? What happened in Afghanistan? See, I'm quoting Afghanistan because it's a similar situation. What USA, rest of the world portrayed what? To kick out, first, they bought the Taliban themselves. Taliban is a creation of USA and USSR to some extent. After that, when the Taliban's use was finished, they said Taliban should go out of Afghanistan. Matlab, you resided them, you educated them, you gave them weapons, everything. Now you're wanting it, nahi, leave it. Not possible. In today's scenario, not. So again, this point, Hamas exclusion, demilitarization can be done to some extent. Less arms can. But Hamas leaving Gaza is next to impossible. And the fourth is most important, Israel withdrawal. Israel will never leave Gaza. It cannot leave Gaza because the persistent idea of persistent threat is always there. Why do we have an army? Why do we have a border? Because the idea of persistent threat is there. So giving the background of Hamas and Israel, Israel will also never give it up. It's all in the peace plan, like hota na, it's in the syllabus, but not important. That's the part. Now see, the whole peace plan was based on, the peace plan was in 2 parts. The first part was Hamas giving up the hostages. At this point of time, when this 20 peace point was done, there were 48 hostages left. There's a movie called The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I'll somewhat relate to it. See, the whole peace plan was based on what? Hamas came to the drawing table and said, okay, we are ready to release the hostages. But portraying this, USA did full PR and made president, peace president. And he started shouting himself for, in the next slide we see, Nobel Prize, Nobel Prize, Nobel Prize. Hai na? The whole Palestine peace plan was based on handing over the remaining 48 hostages. Now what happened on that particular day? Now see, here's the question of who's smart or who's not smart or who's super smart. See, you have to decipher this yourself because what the future holds, none of us know. Everyone is playing the cards they have. Okay? Hamas being a small organization compared to USA and Israel, the power that they hold, still Hamas is fighting back. So you have to think they're not alone. With all the technology in the world, Israel and USA with all the satellites, I don't know what, Mossad itself, they were not able to track down their hostages within a very small area. Such a small area, I get it, it's densely populated, but with all the technology in the world, they didn't able to track the hostages. So Hamas is also up there in the game. They know what they're doing. So from here, what happened was, on the day of hostages exchange, what Hamas did was, instead of 48, they gave 24 people only. only 24. From that, I'm sorry to say, 20 were alive and 4 were dead bodies with honor. Okay. And in return, Hamas got 250 Palestinians. There's no ratio between them. No ratio. But the cost and value of one Israeli is immense for the government. They just can't let it happen. But in all the pomp and show, like Trump winning the peace prize and Trump being the king, everyone forgot where are the rest 24. है ना? So what this led to? This led to identity crisis. This led to trust issues. Hamas said they'll deliver, but they only gave half. Right? So what happened? They left a loophole for Israel and for Hamas, both ways if you see. Hamas knows this is their only bargaining chip. Till the time they have hostages, Israel is somewhat subtle. If not, Israel and USA will obliterate whole of Gaza. Matlab they'll just run tanks all over. But because of this, they're trying to show that they're controlled. In the same manner, Israel also has this reason. Both are having bargaining chips. Now see, irony of being a superpower, as I discussed, with all the power, they still can't get them. Hai na? And this is, it cannot be possible for any organization like Hamas or without local support to sustain this long. Fighting a country like Israel with USA's supreme support. It's very difficult. It's impossible to fight them off, but they still are. So local support will be there. It's just a speculation. But if you add logically, and if you see, I can't show that YouTube video here. If you see the time when they were bringing up the hostages, they were filled with arms in cars, and the pomp and show that Hamas itself put up. There's no idea, there's no way you can think that they will give up arms. Like hota na, if you are willing to give up arms, like if you've heard World War II, Treaty of Versailles, hai na? So there, when they came in the Versailles Hall, everyone was humble, head down, because they lost. They were giving up their arms. But in this case, or if you take the example of 1971, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh war, when Pakistan surrendered, they were humble. If not humble, they had to show that I'm humble. But when Hamas was giving up the 24 hostages, no. They were full up in arms, long, strong, proud, and they made a message, they showed a message visually that we will not bog down, we will not come down. So now the question is, who won? Okay. The whole world, the whole PR is showing that USA won, USA won, USA won. Trump won, we'll give them a peace prize. But everyone forgot this number of 24, and it matters. It matters to both. It is Hamas's bargaining chip, the security, the insurance. And for Israel, this is what they're fighting for, each individual.